The comic market is buzzing. Captain America Brave New World left its mark. What books are trending after the film's release? Indie comics are heating up after some big option news. One book just skyrocketed thanks to a YouTuber's influence? Which books are making the biggest moves this week? Let's find out. The Comic Heat Index begins now. Woohoo! It's the final week of February. Would you believe that? We're already 2 months into the new year.
Can't believe it. It's this February I found has gone really fast.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the shortest month of the year, so you would assume if we go short, it would go fast, wouldn't it? It's missing a couple of days here and there, but
yeah,
we got March 1st coming in this Saturday, so I'm looking forward to doing something on March 1st. I don't know what, but we'll talk a little bit about what we got plans for next week. But let's take a look at these top 4 books that we have here. And what can you tell me based off of these 4 images right now?
Got some new and some not so new.
And some unknowns too, right?
Yeah.
Right. So we got something that just came out. We got 2 books in this list that not a lot of people know about. And we got a classic story that's coming out. And that's just 4 of the top 10 of this week. I think it's good. I think this week's a banger. Let's start off the list with a bang. Fantastic Four 48. This came out in 1966 for Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale was $233 for a raw. Fair market value of this book is $788 for very good at $1,158 for a 4.5. And those are the most common sales. That's on average. This came out at number 5 in CBSI. Sales volume of this book's at 48%. And the hype level is at a high because we are getting ready for some Fantastic Four goodness. We saw 49 on this list. Now we're seeing 48. What can you tell me?
Well, I mean, the hype from the trailer, Captain America came out. It's okay. It's not super bad, which, if you believe like the Rotten Tomatoes scores, critics don't like it so much, but everybody's going to watch it. And so that's building some more momentum for this Fantastic Four. And I'm looking forward to it too. So that's where this hype from this book comes from.
Yeah, and this book has, first of all, the coming of Galactus. It just has that, something's coming, and everybody's shocked. You can see everyone in the image there. You got the Fantastic Four, they look frightened. People don't know who the Watcher is at this point. He's not a popular character, but there's something about him that makes him, like he's a presence, right? A big baby. Never understood that. His head just kept getting bigger. Yeah. I noticed, but this is an all-time classic. 49, I probably will say, is the best cover out of the 3 books. But this is the start of this arc that they have with the coming of Galactus. It's going to be good. So That's what's so great about it. All right. That's number 10. Number 9. Geiger, number 10. This is the second printing. This is the Gary Frank second printing that's featuring in the cover The Glowing Woman. This book just came out in 2025 for Image Comics. This book's at $12 near mint. That was the last sale, and that's also the fair market value of this book. 9.8s are already going for about $60. It's number 7 in CBSI, and it came in as number 1 in CovrPrice. The only reason why it's number 9 is because sales volume is not as high at 49%. The hype level is at a medium. I don't think it's super hype. I even will be surprised if it's in the list next week.
Yeah, this is the Ghost Machine universe has been great. This is probably one of the best reads that's ongoing. Like Rook Exodus is really good, but it's on a little bit of a break. And this is essentially the last page from this issue with just a little bit different coloring on it. And then her her full first appearance is in issue 11 because I've read both of them. But it could be a really fun character. 11 was a great read, I think, because this is the same image that's pulled from the last page of this issue with just a little bit different coloring. It's a fun cover. Ghost Machine Universe, great read. So yeah, I can see why this is on the list for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and who doesn't like the legs? Just saying. All right. So what's the importance of the glowing woman? Why is she such an important character that she's demanding this attention right now?
Well, that's what the story is building towards. So at the end of issue 10, it's just a cameo. Then issue 11, there's more of her story in that. But we're still figuring that out. You kind of get a little bit of clue of who the character is. I won't do any spoilers, but it's really just building towards more stuff in issue 12 and beyond. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. Mm-hmm. Supposedly, she's supposed to be able to help cure the glowing man. So,
and therefore, she's the glowing woman. So we got to.
Right.
So there you have it. All right, that's number 9. At number 8, Basket Full of Heads, number 1. This came out 2019 for DC Comics. Near mint went for $12. Last recorded sale. And this book goes for about $10 near mint. 9.8 goes for $59. It was number 1 in Key Collector, number 2 in CBSI. It did not make the cover price. In fact, it was in cover price last week. The sales volume, this book's at 68%. It has a hype level of a medium. What do you know about Basket Full of Heads?
Well, we were just talking about this before. So if I remember, this is the one that is written by Stephen King's son. And it's supposed to be optioned, or there's a possibility that it'll be optioned. So people are snapping it up because of that. I haven't personally read this one.
Yeah, Basket Full of Heads is a horror anthology style book. It's a black label book for DC Comics. So, anywhere else it probably would have been a vertical book, and it probably will eventually become a vertical book. There's only 7 issues in the series. And Joe Hill happens to be the son of Stephen King. He's also known for Lock and Key, among other stories. And like you said, this has been picked up for an option. Therefore, people started gravitating towards it. The hype level is a medium because it's still relatively hot right now. However, just like the other book that we talked about, I don't think this will be on our list next week. And
yeah, I think this is until you start to see some trailers or something. Mm-hmm. But this would be one if you did want to seek after those type of things. Wait for it to drop back off. Maybe pick it up.
Yeah, give it some time. I think it's one of those books that it's got to be in dollar bins. Let's take a look at number 7. That's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man number 1. This book came out in 2025 from Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale was $9 at near mint. Fair market value of this book is $11 near mint. While there's now 9.8 on coming out, it's going for $104. This is number 10 in cover price, and the sales volume is 165%. Hype level is a medium. The show is now over. I have not finished it. I'm still issues behind, but the last episode I did see was one hell of a cliffhanger in regarding I forget the guy's name, but the football player, Lonnie, and the reveal was it just made me go like this, like, oh my goodness, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So, I had in my mind that he could possibly be 3 different characters, even though I know the name is tied to a character. They've kind of been twisting it a bit. If anybody doesn't know, these comics are kind of like a pre-story leading up to the series. And I'm sure if it keeps going, which it likely will because it's popular, it's going to fill in gaps. So it's not like the Star Wars adaptations where they basically just reprint the show. This is a separate story than what you see on the show. And because the season just ended, and season 10, if you thought your show was a cliffhanger, wait until the end of the season. It's awesome. Yeah. People are showing more interest in now filling in that gap and going back and getting these books. I think that's kind of driving some sales.
Yeah, I think now that there's some hype behind it. The show's good. Again, it's finished. You can see the whole season. So therefore, you're going to see a little bit of dip for it. But I honestly think it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. My girls enjoyed it. We had fun watching it. I love the cliffhanger moments. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man at number 7. At number 6, this one is a bit of a shocker to me, and that's Moon Knight number 1, 1980, Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale of this book was at $35 at a very fine. That's also the fair market value at $32. $114 for 9.6. On the trendy list, this is number 3 in Key Collector and number 8 in Cover Price. The sales volume of this book is at 74%. The hype level is a low, and I'm going to tell you why it's a low. No one's talking about this book except for one individual. Do you happen to know the YouTuber by the name of Mint Hunter Comics?
Yeah, I've watched. I watch all of his videos.
Great guy. I plan on seeing him sooner or later because he's in my neck of the woods, but he's in like lower New Jersey. He's in lower New Jersey.
In New Jersey.
Yeah, lower New Jersey. So that's a bit of a trip. You have to go. For me, it'll be a bit of a trip. He was talking about comic books that are significantly lower than they should be. Yeah. Like they're under budget, right? And he pointed out this one. I'm willing to bet that people saw that video because he does have a great following. They saw it and they said, "Oh, that book is that cheap. Let me go pick it up." And that's why we saw an uptick of Moon Knight. Now, as far as hype level goes, once that video's out and people see it, no one's going to talk about it again. The only way Moon Knight is going to come back on a list like this is if someone's talking about it, if there's some spec, like we're going to get Moon Knight Volume 2. There's nothing in the horizon for Moon Knight at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is it cheap? Absolutely cheap. You know what I mean?
Oh, so this book has had a roller coaster ride, to be sure.
Yeah, and it's a great book. It's nothing against the book because I love it. I happen to have a copy of it. In fact, I have a big run of it because a friend of mine gave me all her Moon Knights, and I was like, and that was right before the show. So this is one of those books to me that I think it's here because a YouTuber said go buy it, and everybody went to buy it.
I'm okay. I've got the direct and I've got a newsstand, so
yeah,
bring it on.
Yeah, absolutely, but it's still worth the pick up if you could get it for that low. Get it because I promise you it will not stay that low. I'm just certain it won't. Okay, let's take a look at number 5. Daredevil 227. This book came out in 1986 from Marvel Comics. A near mint sold for $20 this week, while fair market value of this book's at $17 for a very fine. 9.8 goes for $222. It's not on Key Collector and it's not on Cover Price, but it came in number 3 in CBSI. The sales volume of this book is at 63%. The hype level is high simply because the Daredevil TV show is just a couple of days away from starting. And this is part 1 of Born Again.
I can't wait. I know that Marvel just put out in one of those little volumes that are like I think $9.99 US or something like that. Mm-hmm. The collection of this that I almost picked up. But I can't wait to watch Daredevil. I love all the characters they have in those shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I'm so looking forward to it. I was looking at a video of, kind of like a behind the scenes type of thing and how they wanted it to be filmed in New York. The backdrop is New York. Obviously, it's Daredevil, so it's in Hell's Kitchen. So, but just the fact that, they want to go back to the way it was in the Netflix show, and the fact that they're also saying that it's more gritty than the Netflix show, and that says a lot.
Yeah,
because that show was pretty darn gritty. I'm cautious about certain characters and seeing how long they will stay. If you know what I mean, I feel like we're going to get a death or two.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what I like about those Netflix original shows is you just kind of don't know. And bring me back John Bernthal. Like I can't.
Oh, wait. He's coming. I know. He's definitely on his way.
So. Him and Vincent D'Onofrio, like their scenes together are awesome.
Yeah. Vincent D'Onofrio is amazing. It's going to be a good show, man. It's definitely going to be a good show. Daredevil 227 at number 5. Let's take a look at what's number 4 is Amazing Spider-Man 129, 1973 from Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale of this book is $903 at a 5.0. Fair market value of this book is at a $862 at a very good, while 8.0 is the average, and they go for about $1,857. This came in number 4 in CBSI. Sales value is at 72%, which is very impressive for a book of this caliber. Hype level is high. You mentioned John Berthal. We're getting our Punisher.
And we talked a little bit about this, but I do a value update on Sundays, and this was the top decreaser in that for last week in my collection, and it went down about $249. So I think a lot of people saw that and are buying because it's been dipping a little bit.
It's dipping a little bit, but it's going to go right back up. It's one of those books. And I think once we have the episode with John Berthal, this book is going to just keep going up. But 72%, like you said, it's a dip, but that's also an opportunity for people to purchase.
Yeah, this is one of those books like Giant Size X-Men, any of those early Fantastic Four, where you just kind of got to jump on at some condition of book because it, like you said, it's just going to keep trending up eventually. Small dips and then gains.
It's such a standout cover too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you immediately notice it, you immediately know it. It is an amazing book. It's a great book to have and own. It's one of those books I do want to have in my collection someday. Just because Punisher is one of my favorite characters. I enjoyed the Punisher character just because of just his demeanor, the fact that he's the very first real true, you know, anti-hero vigilante in comics. Like this is the one guy that started the trend of, oh no, I'm killing this guy, you know? So, and we'll talk more about Punisher later when we get to Spotlight. I think there's one book I really want to focus on.
I have this and it's set for grading. It'll be graded sometime this year. So I'll be sure to let everybody know.
Awesome. Let's take a look at number 3. Hulk number 1. This came out in 2008 from Marvel Comics. Last recorded sale of this book was $225 at a 9.8. Fair market value of this book is at $48 near mint, while 9.8s are going for about $242. So that last recorded sale got a deal based off the fair market value. This book came in number 3 for CovrPrice, and just like Punisher, a lot of people are still buying this book. The sales volume is 143%. Hype level is a medium because the movie came. It's been in theaters for a week now. It had a significant drop. It didn't do too well the second week, but then again, it was still number 1, but it didn't do too well.
Yeah, it dropped off. We both saw it, and I thought it was okay. Like the Red Hulk parts are neat. This book, I have it. It's at CGC right now, so I need this to hold on for a little bit longer.
Yeah. I have a copy signed by Jeff Loeb. I'm holding on to Ed McGuinness because I know that's a name I'm going to see sooner or later. Get him to sign it and then send it out for JSA, verification.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, because with Jeff Loeb already signing it, I can't just get it,
Yeah.
But to me, what we got in the movie was a very different Hulk than what I wanted. Because in the comic books, he knew he was turning into Red Hulk, if I'm not mistaken. And there was more to it to that, where in this one, he was like fooled into becoming the Red Hulk.
Yeah. I thought the way they did the computer effects was really great, how they kept kind of Ford's, traits of his face and everything.
Yeah.
And all that looked good. I don't know. There was just no wow parts, and that's kind of what I think we both felt about that movie.
I felt bad for Anthony Mackie. And the reason why I felt bad for him is Sam Wilson's such a great character. And this movie is called Captain America, Brave New World. But yet, this should have just been called Incredible Hulk 2.
Yeah. There was a lot of things pulled from, that movie, which is over 20 years old. And, a lot of people going into that aren't going to have any idea of the history with the leader or that movie, and it's not even the same Hulk character that they were talking about.
Hulk #1. This book, another book that I think we're gonna start seeing it go away from this list. It probably won't make it the list next week. I think this is it. Say goodbye to the Hulk until next time.
Yeah.
Let's go to number 2, and number 2 is Knights #1. This came out in 2023 for Image Comics. Last recorded sale of this book was $25 near mint. Fair market value of this book is at $20 near mint. There are no recorded slab sale as of yet. This was number 4 in Key Collector, number 1 in CBSI, and it was also number 4 in CovrPrice, which made this book into number 2. Sales volume of this book is to 62%. The hype level is a medium. So, just like we talked about Basket Full of Heads, Knights was another book that people started talking about and grasping. There's an animated film that's coming in through Netflix based off of this series. Now, here's another thing that I want you to take note of. So, as a result of Diamond distribution and really their bankruptcy and things like that, they're kind of doing a bit of some liquidating. And it would appear that there are more copies of Knights than we have recorded so far. So if people are making orders for Knights, #1, they're becoming more available. Therefore, the price of this book might be more than expected. Also, keep in mind, it is an animated film for Netflix. I do not see this book being a big book. So this spec here, my personal opinion, is it has spec value now, but will it have spec value in a year?
I don't think we see this on the list next week.
Yeah, so I don't think this is one of those books. Maybe the story will be great, but I cannot possibly see it blow up in the same way. I don't see it becoming the next Sweet Tooth.
No, I don't think so.
So be on the lookout. If you see that really good price, then grab it. $20 still isn't that much, but don't overspend on this book right now. And let's take a look at our #1 book for this week. Gunslinger Spawn #18, 2024 Image Comics. This book is going for $18 near mint. That's last recorded sale. It's also the fair market value. 9.8 is currently at $36. I checked the census. It is very low right now. Very low. It's number 6 for CBSI. It's number 2 for CovrPrice. The sales volume is $131. The hype level of this book, it's a medium now. Even though it's #1, I think the Mark Spears train is slowly dwindling. But this one's still hanging on because people are now, everybody's grabbed the Spawn, everybody's grabbed the monsters, and now we're slowly seeing the other Spawn books. Be on the lookout for that King Spawn. We talked about that when we were doing the Mark Spears spotlight. I think that one's the one that we're going to see on this list very soon.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this as well with this cover is, like you said, people are going back now, and all these unattainable Spears covers that they just are crazy prices, they're starting to go back, to these ones that are affordable. And we've been talking about this cover for a number of weeks. And I've mentioned a couple of times that I went into my store and just picked this up for CovrPrice, essentially. I think it was $15 or something like that. And it's more attainable, so it's easier to get, so it's on the list. We'll see what happens next week, though. I have the King Spawn one, too.
Yeah, I think the King Spawn's the next one that we're going to start seeing because it's not Spawn proper. So I think that's probably the reason why we don't see it as these other two. However, it's the first. Yeah. And you don't get that second chance to be the first. So that's why it's actually a really cool cover too. I like that cover with him in the suit and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. There you have it, guys. Gunslinger Spawn #18 is #1 this week. Will it be #1 next week? We got to find out. Let me know what you think of the ranking system. Which books do you have? Share your thoughts in the comments and be on the lookout for next week because I think this list is going to look very different next week. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more comic content. Check out these other videos for even more insight, and I'll see you at the next one. Excelsior.